Hello, babes. Welcome back to the channel. If you are new, welcome. So, as many of you babes know, on my channel I discuss TV shows, fashion, music, movies, and more. But I originally started my channel mainly discussing fashion, which is my first love and always will be. Over time, I've drifted more into discussing TV shows because I love talking about the things we watched growing up as millennials and with a new set of eyes. But it is time to get back to the fashion. Of course, I'll still discuss our favorite TV shows, but I love discussing the details, the way clothes were sourced, the budget, the inspiration behind the looks, and everything that goes into creating fashion moments. And with that being said, we are going to be talking about my girl, the iconic Miss Cher Horowitz. So let's get into it. Now, if you were here at the very beginning of my channel, you know I did a video breaking down the iconic legendary wardrobe from one of my most watched movies. I know this movie like the back of my hand. I ran my VCR ragged replaying this film over and over again. And that movie is, of course, Clueless. I actually did a video discussing the fashion from this film about 2 to 3 years ago, but unfortunately, I was hit with a copyright strike and had to make the video private. So I decided we'll be doing this video over again. However, there won't be as many clips as there were in my previous video, but you guys will still see the looks. So if you aren't familiar with the 90s classic Clueless, it's a 1995 American coming-of-age teen comedy written and directed by Amy Heckerling. It stars the beautiful Alicia Silverstone as well as the beautiful Stacey Dash, Brittany Murphy, alongside Paul Rudd. Clueless is loosely based on Jane Austen's 1815 novel Emma, but with a modern-day Beverly Hills setting. It centers on a beautiful, popular, wealthy high school student who befriends a new girl and decides to give her a makeover while simultaneously playing matchmaker for her teachers and examining her own life. Miss Cher is the stylish, iconic, rich, spoiled brat and popular teenager living in a Beverly Hills mansion. But beyond that, Cher is one of the most iconic fashion figures in film history, and I am not exaggerating, this is a fact. Our Beverly Hills baddie. Every year her outfits are recreated, and they'll continue to be recreated generation after generation because of how good it was. People tend to look at fashion and wardrobe design as though it's easy to create an iconic moment, which you guys know I've spoken about very frequently here on the channel. Sometimes the piece you think is going to make history doesn't. The outfit you put on your muse, actress, singer, or client that you think will become legendary ends up being forgotten. Then the piece you'd least expect becomes such a massive moment that you're shocked by how big it becomes. Other times, you're simply such a curator of taste that you create an entire experience for your audience, leaving them in awe of what you build. And that's exactly what Mona May did when she curated the wardrobe for Clueless. She wasn't just responsible for dressing Cher, she had to create looks for Dion, Ty, Amber, and the rest of the cast as well. When the wardrobe for Clueless was created, teen fashion trends were dark, minimalistic, and heavily influenced by grunge culture. It wasn't about bright colors and hyper-feminine looks, it was denim, dark palettes, and rebellion against traditional fashion standards. Even on red carpets, grunge dominated. However, when Clueless was released, fashion experienced a major shift. Mona May didn't have a huge budget for the film, and the only designer piece she acquired directly was the Alaya outfit she personally requested.
I was fascinated to learn that Alicia Silverstone's character Cher had 63 outfits, but you had no budget. So how did you manage to bring all of that and put all of that together?
It was very challenging, truly, because we were creating a completely new world with Amy. Nobody dressed like that. Everybody was totally grunge. It was a Kurt Cobain era. So when we went to high school with Amy Heckling, the director of scouting the location, we were so sad what was going on. So truly, it was a fun part of this film, creating things. And a little bit of innovation came with not having money. I had to kind of get high and low, a thrift store, designer. It made it for very new and fresh fashion.
Oh, that makes it even better, that story. Do you have a favourite outfit from the film?
Well, I loved Alaya because we fell in love with this red dress for Alicia Silverstone, and I didn't have the budget to get it. And there was no PR machine. This is 90s. This is before internet. This is before big PR machines. So I ended up calling Mr. Alaya in Paris and begging him to lend the dress, and he agreed.
Then we got one of the most iconic opening scenes in movie history, that yellow plaid suit. And listen, the word iconic gets overused for things that aren't actually iconic. People often use that word for things that they just happen to like, but I reserve that word for moments, people, and creations that genuinely leave a mark on history. And that's exactly what this look did. For 30 years, people have been recreating this outfit specifically. 30 years. This film didn't just influence fashion, it shifted it. We started seeing lighter colors on the runways, in magazines, and in music videos. This wasn't just a movie, it was a cultural reset. Cher's outfits communicate exactly what her lifestyle is. The wealth, the privilege, and the confidence. While she's often viewed as ditzy, you'll never catch our girl slipping when it comes to fashion. We got 63 looks throughout this movie, from loungewear and school outfits to party looks and formal wear. Now, while everyone loves the opening scene look, and I do too, my absolute favorite is the outfit she wears when she and Dion go to the mall and Cher is trying to figure out how to convince Mr. Hall to change her grade. The way those colors bounce off of each other is something I absolutely love, because I've always hated red and yellow together because it reminds me of ketchup and mustard, or even McDonald's. But the black balances everything perfectly. It cuts through the harshness and neutralizes it. I am still obsessed with that look because it's cohesive, timeless, and effortless. Of course, I also love the Alaya party look. Baby, one thing about Cher, she never came to play. If you were friends with her, you'd love seeing her walk into a room because you know she's going to show up and show out. And I am one of those friends that, the way I love when my friends dress up, I just love to see it. And if there's a themed party, you know she's absolutely committing to the assignment. I am also in love with the red plaid look she wears after she's achieved getting that grade fixed. It's absolute perfection. Cher also knew when to pull back. While she was undeniably a fashionista, she wasn't afraid to dress casually while still adding her own flair and making it unmistakably Cher. That's why the fashion in this film is so incredible. There's storytelling in it. Not some grand, elaborate story, but the story of a wealthy teenage girl and the world she inhabits. Costume design contributes just as much to a film's success as the writing, music, or location. Everything has to blend together and become one cohesive experience. And that's why Clueless remains such a beloved film. The music makes sense, the setting makes sense, the costumes make sense, everything works together. Sometimes a movie or show is being watched more for the wardrobe than the actual storyline. Kind of like All's Fair. The wardrobe for that show, chef's kiss. The story has the potential to be one of the best, but it's all over the place. The plots feel unfinished before the show jumps to the next thing. Okay, I'm rambling. Let's get back to Clueless. Bright colors were exactly what we needed after the grunge era. One thing I loved about fashion back then was how long trends lasted. They weren't here for a few months and gone the next. Trends lasted years. Fashion evolved naturally, and there was usually a reason behind those changes. Now it often feels like trends exist solely to fuel overconsumption. While I was still a little girl when Clueless came out, I remember the shift that followed. We got brighter girl groups, bubble backpacks, pinks, blues, yellows, and oranges. Everything became more colorful, and I loved it. Even when you go back and watch the first seasons of shows like 90210, you'll notice darker wardrobes and darker sets. Then by seasons 3 or 4, everything becomes brighter and more vibrant. When it came to mainstream teen fashion, I truly feel like dark goth and grunge aesthetics dominated until Clueless arrived. A renaissance began, and honestly speaking, it's a shift we need again. Colors seem to have disappeared. Like, I don't know what happened, but the colors in the stores, there's not much. Even in the summer, we're being sold dark burgundies, muted browns, dark greens, and burnt oranges. Since when was burgundy considered a summer color? What happened to turquoise, chartreuse, magenta, bubblegum pink, bright yellow, vibrant orange, and rich purple? Everything feels so dark now. I've actually been shopping for more vintage pieces because finding bright colors today feels like searching for a needle in a haystack, and the quality is usually much better too. But back to Clueless. Cher's wardrobe captured her perfectly. Bubbly, a little shallow, fashionable, and a tastemaker in her own way. To this day, Cher's wardrobe remains among the greatest examples of teen fashion in movie history. I have yet to watch another teen film where the fashion is consistently strong from beginning to end. From the yellow plaid suit in the opening scene to the wedding scene at the end. Every outfit is impeccable. Clueless is one of those films you can revisit at any age and instantly be transported back to the 90s because it is a feeling that you just cannot describe. You had to be there, but you feel as though you can get that feeling through watching films like Clueless. Cher's style was versatile and full of variety. While undeniably 90s, it also felt modern and chic. Every outfit she wore, I would wear. The white Calvin Klein dress, which was actually Alaya, the red Alaya dress with the overcoat, the Mary Janes, the knee-high socks, the Argyle skirts, everything was just incredible. It was magnificent. That's how you communicate with an audience, through clothing. That's how you connect with them. The fit of the clothing was also impeccable. Tailoring makes all the difference. If you have a piece that you absolutely love but feel it doesn't quite compliment you, don't throw it away. Take it to a tailor and have it adjusted to fit your shape. You will be amazed at the difference tailoring makes once you do that. Cher never looked frumpy or out of place. Her hair was also on point. Did we see the beginning of that movie? Baby, that hair eats down. It was voluminous, bouncy, shiny, and full of life. I don't know what happened between the 90s and now, but hair has become so repetitive. Everyone looks the same. Everyone is terrified of being different. People are so focused on becoming the it girl that they've forgotten authenticity. Everyone cannot be the it girl, and that's okay. That doesn't make you less beautiful. It doesn't make you less than. It simply means your style is different, and different is just as beautiful. But for some reason, people don't like to step outside of the box because they're too busy trying to look like everyone else. I always find it strange when people make videos teaching others how to become a specific celebrity, influencer, or aesthetic instead of encouraging them to discover who they truly are. Cher was an it girl because she was authentic. Her style wasn't forced. It wasn't borrowed from someone else. It was genuinely hers. She owned every outfit she wore and made it look incredible, whether it was a designer ensemble or just jeans and a cardigan, because it wasn't necessarily what she wore, it was how she wore it. It was the confidence. You can always tell when someone is trying too hard because it never looks comfortable. Cher gave us preppy mixed with high fashion. She gave us casual looks. She gave us glamorous looks. The opening scene outfit was a playful interpretation of a Catholic schoolgirl uniform, and it was perfect. She gave us fashion. Though many of the pieces were thrifted, they became legendary. And this was before thrifting became a reselling hustle and before overconsumption took over. The wardrobe beautifully showcased who Cher was, but it also highlighted Dion, Ty, and even Amber, who wasn't a major character but still delivered memorable looks. I've always loved how eclectic Amber's style was, and maybe I'll do a video on her as well. But when you're able to influence fashion, shape trends, and become a part of fashion history, you've done your job as an artist. And when you're the woman bringing that fashion to life on screen and inspiring generations to dress like you, that's something truly special. Clueless will always be one of my all-time favorite fashion films because it helped birth the fashion girls we see today and sparked so much of my own love for fashion. They just don't make movies like this anymore. Legally Blonde, The Devil Wears Prada, Dreamgirls, Mahogany, Boomerang, Mean Girls, Jawbreaker. So many classics where the fashion was just as memorable as the story itself, and that's what made them timeless. And that is what we need to get back to. People actually pouring love into their art, whether it's fashion, music, movies, whatever the case may be. No AI, none of these things where other people are creating for you. Let your art speak for itself. Pour yourself back into your art because we are missing this. It's like the soul of music, movies, TVs, fashion, art has been taken away from creativity. We need that back so we can get movies like this again, as well as make these movies for the youth, for things for them to look forward to. And with that being said, this video has come to an end. Don't forget to comment, like, share, and subscribe. Also, make sure your notification bells are turned on so that you always know when I upload, and also hype the video. And I will catch you guys in the next one.